is Tuesday, February 6th. It is 7:11 p.m. And we have here, we see Diana Finch is logged on, Hayden Allen, Wendy Hewlett, hope I pronounce it right. We have Roger McCrossin and myself, Avril Francis. So tonight we are going to start our meeting. And right now, Roger, I think as I welcome everyone, thank you all for joining us. I don't see anyone else online. We're going to have the review of the meeting, Roger?
The agenda, talk about?
Yeah. The meeting minutes.
I sent that you October 4th for the September meeting.
Yeah, because we're waiting on somebody else. Kay just joined us. But Junior said we have to put the camera on, right?
Yeah,
So we asked everyone if they can put the camera
the
on.
members.
Yeah, the members only. So yeah, review of the minutes. I wrote the minutes down.
I sent it to you October 4th.
Yeah, but I thought you read it.
Hmm?
I allow you to read it all the time.
Oh no, but you have to approve it and send it to Jeremy, and
Jeremy
Jeremy
has
has to publish it.
Yeah,
It has to be published 2 days before the meeting in order for it to count as minutes.
okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't approve it, then we don't have minutes.
Okay. Jeremy, you hear us? Okay, so I guess who do we have on the who do we have on? We don't see no one else, only Wendy and Katie and on camera. We don't have anyone else. Diana Finch is on, but we don't know if she's on. Kay is okay.
Just gallery.
Yeah. So we're just gonna do the gallery. Public input.
And
Mhm.
did you have those complaints? The Junior was talking about? Or no?
No.
He was on. Okay.
So we're gonna do the who do we have from the make sure everybody here that is on there that's don't have anybody's public so he was asking for Kay. She's on. And that's Kay's locked on.
Kay's not a.
No.
It was Juan and Harry that we didn't know
Yeah,
about.
but we have
Juan's up
Kay
there.
on, so
Yeah.
we don't know if it's someone who we're gonna do the gallery session. Because we were supposed to have a guest speaker. We don't. And I know I asked Jeremy if we get any response from sanitation. I don't have anything from sanitation. The complaints that we had was sanitation recycling, garbage picked up, where people are confused about the days when the garbage is supposed to be picked up. They always say, don't put it out if it's a holiday, but put it out in the evening. Okay, Kay asked, who was the guest speaker? Kay, we was trying to get a guest, someone from sanitation, but we didn't get a response. I also had the messages forward, the questions and concern. I didn't get anything back, so I don't have anything to report from sanitation. And that was my biggest concern. We were questioning the fact that the garbage are put out, but it's not picked up. And I don't know if it's just me, but I was told that if it's a holiday, you put the garbage out later that evening and they will come and pick it up. So I don't know if anyone here have any information that they could share with me, or if we all understanding it the same way. Wendy, I don't know if you know anything about that.
No, I don't.
Okay, Katie, and do you know anything about the garbage pickup and recycling?
Hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, real. So, I mean, for over here, from my understanding, the garbage, if it's a holiday, the garbage goes out, like you stated, late in the evening, and they usually pick it up the next day, but it's usually late the next day. I mean, I know you said it probably can get picked up early the next day. Like if it's, for example, 4th of July, we put it out that night, and it'll get picked up the next day, but it's usually like late in the afternoon the next day. So that garbage is going to be outside for a significant amount of time before it gets picked up. I mean, I don't know what the experiences for the other homeowners across the Bronx, but I know they do tell us to put it out the same day of the holiday with the expectation for it to get picked up like the next morning. But that usually does not happen, at least around here.
Okay, so you have the same problem.
Yes, yeah, it's the same problem, but it doesn't get picked up early. It gets picked up late in the day.
Okay, and some people say they don't come at all and they have to take the garbage back in. And people complain about getting tickets for having garbage put out on a day that it's not their day. So if like for example Thanksgiving is on Thursday and you put the garbage out Thursday evening, it sits there until Friday on Kruger, and the people have to pull the garbage back in because they realize Friday evening sanitation still didn't come around. And if your garbage is sitting out there, they come around and give you a ticket because it's not your day.
Yeah, I think one of the problems with sanitation is, of course, the drivers or the assignment being kept on the schedule, especially if you know it's a holiday. They want to get the job done earlier. That's what it appears, that they want to get the job done earlier. So if they're off the schedule, like sometimes they'll come here 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're unaware of that because you're thinking, okay, I have time in the morning, around 7, at least I can put my garbage out then if you forget. But they come relatively early sometimes. So they don't keep to the exact schedule that they may print out and distribute to the homeowners. So you just kind of have to do a guesstimate. And since they passed that law about the garbage being out, before 8, um, that's another issue.
Yeah, that's why we just needed to speak to them because you want to get everything like hearing it from them because everybody understanding is differently. The time we look at the time now, it's after 7. It's so dark out there. You talk about putting garbage out at 8 o'clock for seniors, and I find that a little, seniors are really want to be in their bed at 8 o'clock at night, not waking up hoping that they got to put their garbage out at 8 o'clock at night. They don't want to come out that late. It's dark. And then you put the garbage out, they don't come and pick it up, and they got to go and bring the garbage back in because they didn't come at all. So these are some of the questions that we have. And, we can't ask Jeremy the question. We have to ask sanitation the question. I think I just see Diana Finch put something up in the chat, but we here we cannot I can't see it, but maybe she could Jeremy could forward that information. Diana, if you could send that information.
Oh, yeah,
Years ago we had,
it was
yeah.
just the webpage from the Department of Sanitation that says for Lincoln's birthday and President's Day, the 2 Mondays this month, residents who normally receive Monday trash, curbside compost, or recycling collection may place their material out at curbside Monday evening for collection beginning Tuesday, February 13, which is what you said.
Yeah.
You put it out that night, but then they won't come till the following day. They won't come in the middle of the night, Monday night, I guess.
Mhm.
And then it says,
But
please
some-
note that residents may experience collection delays as is possible after holidays. We appreciate patience as we work to collect the backlog of material. Oh, and they say, if you have problems, you can call 311. Report to 311.
Okay, but it's hard when a homeowner hear that they get a ticket for garbage outside on a day that it wasn't their day, and then they got to go try to fight this. It's just a lot. You call 311, you go through so much. So everybody should have the same, you know, the same information and be able to have sanitation, do the same thing in every community, not just in some. So we don't have anyone here tonight, but we appreciate your information, Diana, and maybe we can just follow up ourselves and read up on sanitation page.
Well, the other thing that I've noticed that the building supers do around here is that, they're not supposed to put the trash out on the curb until 8 o'clock. So
Yeah.
what they do instead is they pile it all up. Like if they have a little lawn or a little alleyway, they pile it all up outside, like on their lawn during the day. And then they wait and move it out to the curb at 8 o'clock. But it kind of defeats the purpose because the purpose is not to put it outside at all until 8 o'clock. So the rats
Mhm.
don't come to eat it. But if it's like in your alley or on your lawn, the rats are going to come there instead of coming curbside. So I don't know if it's really working the way it was intended.
Right. And what about the those bins they're using in the city that they says with the roof container? How is that working? Because sometimes I see them where they're flooding over too.
Well,
Is
one
that
of
the
the
same
buildings
one?
in our area went to the bins, like the ones that the food establishments are supposed to use, that have the lids and they're really heavy, heavy duty plastic. And it completely solved their rat problem. So I think they are really effective. And they seem to be using them now, like on White Plains Road. The fast food places are.
Yeah, but what
I think
about
that's a
when
good
they let them
development.
get so, don't they get full? I mean, they get full.
Oh, you have to have enough is a problem, I think. You have to just make sure you have enough so that the ones you have are not overflowing.
Well, if it's working, that's good because I think for me, I don't know if it's just me, but I've seen less rat around the area. I don't know if it's the cold month, but I'm seeing less rat. So I'm assuming is the bins working or is it too cold for them?
I don't think they mind the cold. I think the bins are working. That's awesome.
It
I
might
had an
go.
argument with a homeowner named yesterday. She was on the porch tossing someone. We hear reading, but it just goes away so quick. So if somebody could, you know, Kay, can you read what was put in the chat just now? Someone was saying something to you. That was you reading it, Kay? Kadian?
Me typing it. Hi guys, how you doing?
Okay.
Yesterday I went to drop my laundry before going to work, and there was a homeowner. I take Williamsbridge Road and then go up Pelham Parkway. I walk all the way to work, near the Hutchinson River Parkway. And there was a lady standing on her porch, and there's many, many feet from the street, and she's tossing these cubes of bread to where the tree pit is by the street. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she said, oh, it's for the birds. And I said, ma'am, I don't see any birds anywhere. And do you know that rats will come and eat it? Oh, but it's daytime. I said, do you think rats really care if it's day or night? If they see a food source, they're going to come and eat it. I mean, you're only a couple of blocks from me. A rat can just as easily come to my house as to yours. Can you please not do that? And she just didn't see the harm in what she was doing. So I told her, when I pass by again on Wednesday, if I see this again, I'm just going to call 311 and report you. So she went back in her house. But this, I mean, if homeowners are doing something this crazy, you can hardly blame building supers for doing not smart stuff, like leaving bags of trash in a yard hours before it's supposed to go out onto the curb. The only way to mitigate rats is you don't give them anything to eat, basically. So it's a constant war.
Makes sense. Because I've seen it. Yeah, people have them, as Diana says, they put in the yard in different places in the
Mhm.
walk. But yeah, and if the bins are working, maybe they got to get them more in the community, get more bins out in the community. Because I've walked so many places, distance, just with something in my hand to throw away, but I don't see any bin.
Yeah, no, I take it with me. There have been times I've had to take my trash all the way home with me, so I don't discard it in the street. If there's no proper bin to put it in, I take it home with me or take it to work with me and discard it.
Yeah, and there was one time we had a someone that spoke. I think it was sanitation that says if you take bin from your house and take it and put it in another bin someplace else and they catch you, you can get a fine or something like that.
Yeah,
But what are you
thousand
going
dollar
to do
fine.
with it?
It's $1,000 fine if they find something with your address and your name on it. And I tell people
Right,
all the time, do not dispose of your household trash in public receptacles because it's against the law. And if they find you, they will fine you.
right. But do they really have time to look in the trash to find your name on something?
I know
Or they
that's the
just
thing.
come to pick up the trash?
If something happens to fall out, I guess. I mean,
Right.
I don't think
It,
they're tearing
it's
open bags looking for, people's addresses and names necessarily,
right.
but
I think
um,
it's good to know because we here, if each of us know something and someone lives in someone you're renting, you could share it with a homeowner who probably don't attend meetings or you encourage people to come out to these meetings because it's good to know. Because you talk to some owners, they say, well, I didn't know the sanitation ain't said nothing out, they ain't tell us nothing. So how do they get the word out? Is to, everybody is not like Diana Fitch who go and read up everything. They don't read. They want somebody to tell them. They want to hear it.
mhm,
People have problems. You have homeowners who have problems with certain things and they won't go online and even Google it or try to find it. They just don't.
mhm, mhm. They think they're still living in a building and the super's gonna come and do it for them. And
Yeah.
like the owner of the house here where I live doesn't live here, but the tenant underneath me, he does certain things. He does the outer parameter, he shovels, he does the trash and the recycling. I do the building hallway and the stairs and all that kind of stuff. We pitch in, but not everybody does that. Owners don't do it, and a lot of tenants, well, I pay rent, so I'm just not gonna, we all have to pitch in. You know what I'm saying? We all have to help. And
Right.
my old block, the homeowners were wonderful. This block, they're nice, but they're just not as, they're not as swift at cleaning or, shoveling or anything like that. So, and you try to get people to come out to meetings and stuff. I mean, I've spoken with people and they just don't really seem that interested in being involved. And I tell them when something goes wrong or you feel something's going to happen that's going to bring down the value of your home, if you didn't do anything, you have no one to blame but yourself. It's not just, you go to work, you pay your mortgage and you have your house. You have to be involved. That's the only way the system works. But, what can I tell you?
Thank you. Do
Hmm.
you have
Thank you.
anyone have anything else to share?
Hi, I just want to make a quick comment. I think it also goes back to holding. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm a homeowner myself, but I think sometimes the homeowners need to be held a little more accountable for their tenants. Everyone wants to collect that rent money, and it's great to be able to have tenants and extra income, and all that. But like my next door neighbor, who we're great friends, but he rents out his entire house and he has tenants that rent rooms, and he doesn't really monitor the amount of garbage accumulation within the residence. And I frequently see the renters or whoever he has bringing their trash out in bags and walking right down to the end of the block and putting it in our like our neighborhood trash can. And it's been going on for years. And I think, I mean, just listening to the dialogue that's going back and forth about accountability and fines and all those things, I think maybe the homeowners need to be got to use some kind of like fair tactics to get homeowners to realize that you're going to get fined if you have tenants who aren't abiding by the law and disposing of trash. And it's a lot of trash, not just like the look small little bag. It's large bag of trash accumulating that they're taking out of their home or wherever they're renting and leaving it on the street basically. So this is contributing to rats as well. So it affects the whole entire neighborhood. So I just think that there should be some type of notion where homeowners get kind of it gets put some kind of stipulation that they have to take accountability for the people who they're renting to and ensuring that the trash does not become a part of the community and doesn't contribute to more infestation of rats and things like that in the neighborhood.
And one other thing that I was looking at the other day is that the recycling bags. I passed 2 homes and I saw the recycling bags outside, but I saw this, I wouldn't even say a homeless person, because who you think is homeless is not homeless. And she came and she just tore the bag open in front of the person's home, took out the bottles and walked away. But why was garbage there? Because recycling shouldn't have garbage. So it means that homeowner did not recycle the bags or do the right thing. They just put everything together and put it out.
I have my recyclables on the side of my house. And people will come to the side of my house to get the recyclables. They would do that same thing. They would take the bag out, take what bottles they want, and then just leave it there and go. So now I have my recyclable bin with no plastic bag in it.
So
'Cause
when
they're not
sanitation come,
they're not going to dig into the garbage. They're not going to dig into the bin because it's a big bin and take everything out and leave it on my sidewalk. But yeah, so I've had that situation, and when I put a sign like do not trespass, it's past the gate. During the day, they'll still go past the gate and go through the garbage cans.
but what about
Think about that.
sanitation? Does sanitation pick the bin up? And
Like if what happened before, I got a warning letter because when I still had the clear recyclable trash bags, because other people would go in the bin, take it out, and then leave it laying. So I got a warning. Hey, you got trash out on your sidewalk, even though
it wasn't you.
it was my trash. I
Right.
didn't put it there. People that were doing the recycling.
But
or
what
trying to
can
get it.
be done to solve that problem? If you put them in the bin,
My solution has been just not using a clear bag, using a big bin that has no bag in it.
okay, so if you don't have the bag, then the recycling, they just take the bin up and empty it when they come.
Sanitation?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not required to have a
bag.
for your recyclables.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, a lot of people do because it's convenient. But I
Okay.
just have a big bin that's dedicated just for recyclables.
And you could just put the bin
And
out.
different paper and
Yeah.
plastic and everything.
So you could put the bin out,
Put the
they'll
bin
empty the
out.
bin. Oh, okay.
With no bags. Yeah.
Well, I just learned that because I thought you had to have a bag, so.
No. And then if you go to the recycling center in Brooklyn that sorts everything, the first part of that machine, it's a big, huge, takes up all the space, is to remove the bags
Mhm.
and to empty everything out. But it's actually easier for their sorting if you don't have the clear plastic bags in there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I didn't know you didn't need a bag. Well, we
Right.
just learned something. We just learned something, Katie. We're wasting money because I'm always buying these blue bags to put in my bottles and cans and all that. Well, it's better to just put the bin out and let them empty the bin and leave it there.
And that clear bag or that blue plastic bag that you're using is actually not recyclable itself. Plastic film is not really recyclable. So that will eventually go to a landfill.
Oh, wow. Every day you learn. Thank you so much. We learned something tonight. Roger, sanitation is not here, but we're teaching each other. And that's good. We're learning from each other. So it's something. I guess we will follow up with sanitation again to just, compound these questions and answers. But it's a good thing we're here tonight to learn. Tomorrow now I can move forward, thinking different and doing things different. Anyone else have anything else to share? It's so good when we can come to a meeting and learn something and feel educated when we leave here. And, we just to the point. We come here to talk about sanitation. And Diana, we thank you so much. I'm going to look up that more, read up some more on the sanitation website, because you and Roger tonight highlight some stuff that we all learn a little something tonight.
So I have a quick report on the issues that we have over like along Bronx Park East. A lot of people use Bronx Park East and Pelham Parkway as a dumping ground. And one of the big problems is when people have like heavy metal, old appliances, a lot of wood, old furniture, they seem to like just not know what to do with it. So they just dump it along the side of the park. And I know they're not supposed to do that, but I wish that sanitation was clearer about what you're supposed to do with this kind of trash that's too big and heavy to just put in bags or put in trash cans. I don't think they're really clear about it.
But Diana,
And there's so
what they
few
have, not to
opportunities for
cut
the,
you, Diana, not to cut you, but I saw a lot of the elected officials. They have the recycling time where they have recycling, and they tell you this is for like if you have computer, heavy this and different that. They have different recycling time. I've seen it in this area, and I know Kevin Riley and them also did it. They have for paper.
yeah, I think maybe they have started to do that because I think John Zaccaro is doing that too, where you can take like electronics to his office.
E-waste.
But why I think it's
Right.
difficult, they do it where they tell you got to drive over to City Island
Right, or Orchard Beach
and
or
Orchard
right.
Beach. What if somebody don't have a vehicle? So maybe they need to
Right.
do it where in the area that you say that they dump them. So who picked them up when they put them there?
It's parks, I think, eventually, right?
Well, when it's alongside the park, unfortunately, the Parks Department has to do it. But the Parks Department has limited equipment compared to the sanitation. Like we went through this stretch where the one truck that they have, the huge dump truck that picks up along Bronx Park East, was out of commission. So for days, the trash didn't get picked up because there was no truck.
Yeah,
So
a
it
lot
just
has
everything's like
changed.
undersourced.
A lot has changed because I remember way back you used to have the scrap metal guy that used to come around and pick up things like that so that sanitation wouldn't have to pick those up. But I learned that, a lot of our guys have retired. So the old sanitation guys, if you give them a little change, they would take it. And I had that a couple of weeks ago. We had some bulk items, and it wasn't clear on sanitation's website bulk days. And so I stopped the sanitation guy, and he introduced himself to say he was the new one on the route. And he took care of it for us, and we gave him some lunch money, him and his partner, and they took care of it. But yeah, things like that back in the days that they used to do, the hospitality is not like that anymore.
Mhm.
Right.
But I think there is still like bulk pickup days, and the education could be better on it.
Yeah, people don't know. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Some people still mixing garbage and recycling together. You had something to say, Kadian?
No, it was about the dumping. The dumping. I see a lot of that dumping a lot in that Bronx Park East area as well. But I don't know. Maybe it's an issue with people just not having the information. So it's something maybe sanitation.
Yeah. I
What
think you're
about
right.
some
I think it is
signs?
partly that. And they do take it eventually. So as long as people, as long as it does eventually get picked up, people are going to continue to do it.
Yeah. But what about some signs in the parks? Education to let them know when they can put it there. If you have heavy
Good
stuff,
idea.
whatever, to say that. And at least maybe those people who are just dumping, they would say, oh, I can take it here on Wednesdays, I'll bring it Wednesday. And it's gone by Wednesday night. So maybe it needs some education from parks and working together with sanitation to get these things done.
Diana,
I
was
like
that,
the idea of signs.
Diana, was that the area that they said they were gonna put up those temporary cameras with the no dumping signs? There was an intersection somewhere. I don't know if that was by Bronx Park East.
I think it was, but I've lost track of whether that happened or not.
Okay.
And then the other issue that we have is the municipal free parking lot that's on Boston Road and Pelham Parkway North by the
You said free
doctor
parking lot?
place. The parking lot that's on along Boston Road between like Pelham Parkway and the little entrance to Olinville in front of that eye doctor place that has the domed roof across the street from the Botanical Market.
You know where that is, Roger?
There used to
Right.
be trash cans there and now there are none. And sanitation refuses to put trash cans in the parking lot because now the way the program works, a business has to accept responsibility for like keeping the bags filled in the trash cans, and there's no business nearby that would do that because they're just eye doctors' offices. There's no like fast food or restaurant that would take that kind of responsibility. So the parking lot is always filled with trash, and then the trash blows into the park
Hmm.
and makes the park a mess. And it's just so frustrating that sanitation won't yield on this rigid rule they have. It's not helpful to the community.
And that's the thing, we don't have
I
enough
don't know what
people
to do.
speaking
So,
out.
so when you get sanitation to come to the meeting, we will ask them about it.
Yes, the Retina doctor. Yes, we will do. Okay, I think so far. We will try and try again until we get someone, even if they have to come on remotely, but it's good to hear it from the source and they hear our concern and hope that our concern is not just considered Road 11 concern, but a concert throughout, because if it worked for us, it will work for everyone. Years ago, when I lived over there, I used to clean up the park sometime, but everybody's not doing that anymore. It's hard to get people to volunteer to do things, much less clean up the park. You have days when elected officials say clean up day, and you hardly see anybody out here. People are not getting involved like that. People are looking more at this one is getting paid, and that's a sanitation job. But how do we get the community involved? Is by us start caring for our community, caring for our parks. Then we won't have to worry about a cleanup day, because we clean up today, they're dirty tomorrow. So it's just about encouraging people to care about the community they live in, the parks they live in, the streets that they have to walk in. It's just ridiculous. I see people literally roll down the window of the cars, throw the garbage, and keep going. So I guess whatever we say to sanitation, I hope it could work across the board, because I know other people are complaining. So I guess right now, no one have anything else to say. We're gonna go on to, don't none for motion.
Oh, we can't make a motion because we don't have a quorum.
That's it. We don't have
Um,
anything for no core, for no motion. So old business. I think we went into everything from old to new just now, but do we have any old business?
Old business was the compost project. They got defunded in December. Remember I wrote up that letter,
Yeah.
but then we didn't have a December meeting.
Right.
So the compost project was defunded as of December 31st. So there was like 115 employees that were fired. They were like green jobs. In some of the boroughs, there was like private donations to help some of those people stay in the jobs. But that's just a stopgap measure.
Mhm.
So I've started another letter since they've already been let go. And if we have the meeting this month, I'd like to vote on sending that sanitation. Well, not to sanitation, it's partly sanitation, but also the mayor's office for the budget. Because although you don't think about composting that much, it's sort of like community gardens and where everybody gathers around and shares ideas and meets like-minded people that want to help and want to clean up the neighborhoods. But they need the education on it, and that's the part
Yeah.
that the compost project
Okay.
did. As of now, they're going to have like sanitation workers do outreach.
Okay.
Even though they're doing the brown bins, they're going to come back sometime next year. There's no people to do the education to the public. So it's kind of like they're spending all this money on the bins and the collection, but without the education and the outreach, it's kind of a waste of money. So it's a waste of taxpayers' money, and it's green jobs that we no longer have.
I think we need to get the mayor to start coming into our community to listen to us. What about that? I think we do that. Huh?
Before it was defunded, did they have any data collection as far as what were any expected outcomes? Like what did they use to as a basis to say that it should be defunded?
I think it was just an easy program to cut. But on average, they would have outreach with 600,000 New Yorkers per year throughout the 5 boroughs, all the different groups that are part of that. But then they also do composting in community gardens, whether it's old gardens or new gardens. And usually it's you have a community garden and some of the gardeners leave and new ones come in. And the compost in the community garden is sort of like it's the whole garden's responsibility. So usually you'll take care of your own plot, but then the compost bin gets forgotten about. And then it decays, and then finally they say, oh, somebody should do about it. And they would reach out to the compost project, and then it'd help educate all the local gardeners about it. For the Bronx Green Up has retained, I think they retained one of the employees to kind of continue that outreach in the Bronx. But that's being funded by the New York Botanical Gardens now.
It's funny. It's just funny how all these things just pop up during a certain time. The green, this matter, everything green had mattered. Now we're having all these problems. They don't matter anymore. So seem like these projects and everything just come up to make us feel like, wow, good things are happening. And then they start cutting back and this, cutting back and that. So I don't know. I'll leave that for another meeting.
They probably scaled up too quickly. I mean, 115 employees and expecting, everyone to learn how to be, green thumbs and know how to use compost. We have we have 2 bins in front of my house right now, and I honestly don't remember anyone teaching me anything about how to put that together.
Thank you.
Asking each other about what are we supposed to be doing with this. My neighbors and I trying to figure it out. I think we were just Googling it online. I don't know. I just think that sometimes things need to be over time. You kind of monitor it and give more education, give more support, give more resources, and you slowly scale things up, as opposed to 115 employees. All of a sudden now they're out of work, going around doing teaching, and now they got to collect bins. I think sometimes that the community board should be a part of this as well. I think it was something that it rolled out too quickly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. They're still talking about continuing the rollout of the curbside pickup, which curbside pickup is different from community composting. So that curbside pickup bin that you have, that right now is all being collected, and they're bringing it to Brooklyn where they have an anaerobic digester. where they actually take some of the sewer water, and they mix it with the stuff from that compost, to make methane gas, and that's the new like green energy solution, part of the green energy solution. And then also bio slurry, which you can use. It's basically a fertilizer. But yeah, it's these big egg anaerobic digesters out in Brooklyn. That's their only plan now for what they're going to do with the curbside pickup. What they had talked about in the past was actually having big composter, industrial sized compost facilities where you would have aerobic digestion. And then all of that material you would be able to use as a soil amendment. So that would go back to the communities. So it's something where it would be processed locally and then go back to the communities, whether it's residents or community gardens or schools. I even got a load of it and I did all the street trees on Morris Park 2 years ago. So that's a more green end product. But as of now, they plan on more of the rollout, no education about it, and then just taking it to the anaerobic digesters.
That is the problem that we have, lack of education.
Yeah.
And we're here educating each other. It's something that should have been, if it's coming, educate us and then bring it. So when you bring it, just like Kaden saying, if you put the bin, she's supposed to know right away what to do with the bins. Not put the bins and then we're stuck. It's just like when they had brought out those little brown bins at
Right.
first, and they just sit there until people start putting garbage in there.
Mhm.
Well, I guess we have some more work to do with sanitation and more questions and answers. And that was old business. And thank you, Roger, for the information, because I'll be looking into it and following up more on this myself. Thanks, everyone. Do we have any new business? I think we got more old business than you. Because we got questions that need answers. I guess we got to talk to Jeremy. How do we get the mayor to come to the Bronx to give us a meeting where we could ask all the questions and he could hear all our concern in the Bronx? So I guess
May I just mention an event that's coming up that it's more specifically about parks, but it has a lot to do with conservation and recycling, and which is the day-long workshops, seminars, panels on Saturday, February 24th. It's called Bronx Speak Up, and it's at Lehman College from 11 in the morning till 5. But it's free. It's very informal. You can come and go. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. And this year, they always have a theme, and this year is a conference on parkland in the Bronx. But they have a whole room of tabling and people who do composting and recycling projects come and table. And Con Ed is there. Lots of people from the Parks Department come, elected officials come, and you get a chance to speak with them all because it's very informal networking. Everyone has lunch together. And I really highly recommend it. It's very interesting. You always learn something new. And you get to talk directly to the Parks Department people, the Con Ed people, your elected officials.
And that's at Lehman College?
Yeah, Saturday, February
A
24th.
flyer or anything that you could send to Jeremy so Jeremy could send out?
Yeah, I'll email him.
Yeah, please, if you could send it
Put the
out.
link in the chat too.
Yeah. Jeremy, are you with us?
And it's good for kids too. You can bring kids.
Oh,
There's stuff for them to do.
they're gonna have vendors there selling food because you say,
Well, they have
day.
lunch. They have a catered
Oh.
lunch that's
Oh.
free.
okay, so if you have the information, you have to register, you have to call an RSVP?
No, you just show up. You
okay.
don't. Oh, you can.
Okay.
You can register if you want a table.
Okay,
I don't know that you have to register, that you have to RSVP, or you can, but you don't have to.
okay. All right, so send it to Jeremy and
Okay.
I'll remind you also to send it to Jeremy so that Jeremy could send it
Okay.
out. All right, thank you so much, Diana.
And Roger, you would love this
I,
event.
I
Yes.
volunteered with the compost project at those events in the past.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we have done it 1 hour and 11 minutes, 45 seconds. And we have really, it was very informative tonight. Here we all was sanitation in our own way. And I really thank everyone for coming. And I hope our next meeting we can have a guest speaker, or we'll just go out on February 24th and see what we learned there extra. And I hope we can see each other there. If not, each one spread the word and each one teach one. Thank you and good night.
Thanks, everyone.
All
Thank you.
right,
Thanks,
I
everyone.
call meeting to a close.
Night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, text them. I call them.